All right, Noble man. They say that we live, big bro.
Cool. What up, everybody?
What's the word? What's the word? What's the dealio?
Trill Cast, what's happening?
Rashad G, I see you. He ready. He come loaded with some questions out there. Gizzy. Let me make these little notifications, man. Let me see something, man. We gonna do this. Peace to everybody, man. We appreciate the folks that's in here with us, coming to kick it with us on this build. You dig? Let's see here. No, hold on 1 second, bro. Um, dot 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 dot. So let me see something. Let me do something right quick. No. Let's see here. We appreciate y'all. All right. All right, man. So that's what it is, man. Yeah, man. I just wanted to come through tonight to talk about this Gunna, Young Thug, YSL situation. What up, Ricky Skills? What it do, man? See you, man. Like, we ain't gonna hold y'all long. My partner Noble over there, he needs some rest. That cat be up early, man. 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, doing his Thug Thistle and whatnot. But yeah, so we wanted to talk about it, and it's really been the talk of the town the last 3-4 days. Everybody been having their opinion, they 2 cents about the Gunna. Did he snitch? Did he rat? Is he a rat? Da 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 da. Now, if y'all new to this channel, you know, the Imagination Guru, Hip Hop Astrology TV. If you're new to this channel and you got caught by the headlines, we here to talk about Gunna, YSL, Thug, but not in the sense that probably 99.9% of the general population in public is talking about these 2 gentlemen. We want to look at it from a manifestation is a key word that people like to use. So I guess I'll throw that out there. A spiritual kind of look at things is one of the other keywords people like to use. We also going to look at it from an astrological standpoint this evening. Now, as a bonus tonight, we're going to be talking about the gentleman that they say just committed suicide, DJ Twitch, right?
Right.
We're going to get into that too. So tonight is going to be a merger of the quantum consciousness aspect and the astrological as above, so below aspect that the priesthood is known for to bring to you guys. And so we just wanted to share some light in that regard. So y'all know what to do, man. Get the thumbs up, hit the like button, share, subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. Please consider subscribing. I think, me personally, we put out some great content for the amount of content that we do have. It's eternal, man. It just lasts forever. It's just a gift that keeps on going and going and going. I still got people, Noble, calling me from shows that we did 6-7 years ago. Still catching up to that light from 6-7 years ago, when I was a newbie on the scene of this thing called consciousness. And so now I consider myself to be a seasoned vet, man. We've been doing this thing for a long time, teaching people the power of the mind, teaching people the power of manifestation with real practical applications, not a bunch of theory and a whole bunch of philosophy, but how-tos. And it's been working wonders for a lot of people for a very long time. So we're going to get into this thing, man. Let me see something, Noble, though. Let me see if I go to present, share screen, window. All right, hold on, y'all. 1 second, because this thing seems to give me like a little problem from time to time, but we gonna We gonna hope that that don't happen tonight. Wait a minute. All right, Noble. Can y'all see my screen? Can you see my screen, big bro?
Yeah. I see it.
All right, man. So let's do this thing. All right, man. So I'm just gonna jump right into it, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all long. I just want to break this thing down so y'all can get a better understanding of what's going on. And most importantly, you should be able to watch this presentation, this mini presentation, take the nuggets and the jewels from it and apply it to your personal life. Listen, I follow the news stories, the news trends, but for the most part, it's for me to be able to extract this type of data from it so I can use it as a learning tool, a teaching curve, all these different things. So my main point in even having these conversations is for you, the viewer, the listener, the reader, whoever you are out there, to further enrich your personal experience by actually utilizing this information and putting it to work. And sometimes, unfortunately, it has to be this way. Noble always says it, man. It seems like we attract the bad stuff faster than the good stuff. And it's a reason for that. We're wired to survive. So we're wired in a way where we're always looking for where the detriment or the downfall might come from. And so it takes a little bit more effort, a more more focused effort to consistently keep the good coming into your life. But a lot of times we can look at the negative aspects of things to be able to see, to scale it out, right? And to magnify it so you can see, oh, wow, man, like, okay, all right. Everything, because everything can be reverse engineered. I want to say that too. So you got to know if it's weighing on one side, the same thing can be done on the other side, right? So on your screen, what you're looking at is obviously Young Thug and a gentleman named Gunna. So if you're new to the story, if you're living under a rock, you really don't know too much about hip hop. You may be in the older generations where you just here for the information. You're not too thrilled about the hip hop community in the hip hop world. These two gentlemen are allegedly part of a enterprise called YSL that the federal government and some of the local authorities down in Georgia are saying is really a front for a gang run organization. They brought these young men up on something called RICO charges, very serious charges, racketeering, criminal enterprise, all kind of stuff. And I think they've probably been locked up now for maybe over 4 months, maybe 5. Let me see. That was maybe like May.
It was in May.
So I don't know, maybe like 6 months to be or something like that, close to.
Yes, it was in May. Yeah,
It was in
so
May.
in the 12th month, so we probably
So about 7 months, 6, 7 months we talking.
Yeah.
So so that's kind of like the blueprint, the baseline for what's going on here. And so you might say, okay, whatever. Now, I have to preface this first. In quantum mechanics, quantum physics, quantum consciousness is what I like to call it. There's an experiment called the double slit experiment, where in this experiment, the basis of it is that what's creating reality, which is what we see in the objective world, everything is made up of light. Everything, right? Atoms, electrons, quarks, protons, all of these things that science says reality is made of, the building blocks that make everything that we see and experience with our 5 senses. Something strange happens when something records these properties of light. To make it real simple and plain, imagine something that has infinite possibilities, right? Something that is unlimited in what it can produce. No matter how unlimited or how much potential this wave has, the moment that somebody makes an observation, now this just doesn't have to be your eyes, it can be any measuring device. There's something about the idea or the reality of recording, keeping a record of something, ultimately shapeshifts the way that whatever you're viewing actually shows up on the screen of space that we call reality. So I've done plenty shows about this before. If you want to get hip to it in more detail, you probably want to go put Minister Ju in the search engine on YouTube and go watch some of my older content to get a better grasp of it. But in short, there's something about us looking, right, that impacts the way that things happen in the objective world, which means this: we are always co-creating with the environment. Because see, quantum physics always tells us what? That a state called entanglement, meaning where things are strongly associated, regardless of their distance apart. When one thing happens to one object on one end, even if it's 1,000 miles away, 100 miles away, 1,000,000,000 miles away, 1,000,000 miles away, that other particle that's entangled with that other particle 1,000,000 miles away also is impacted at the simultaneous time. But they say that this entanglement feature is happening all of the time. So that's important to know. So the gentleman Gunna, who I showed you on the first slide on the left, he starred in a movie called Dutch. And in this movie called Dutch, there's a scene where he's in a jail cell, as you can see here, with the orange jumpsuit on. And there's a detective on the other side of the bars who's interrogating and questioning the rapper in this movie that we know by the name of Gunna. Gunna replies to the detective, right? Hey, look, man, go run out and get me a Sprite. Go get me some McDonald's. And when you come back, that may jog my memory. In short, was the way of them saying, hey, I'll give you some information. I'll give you what it is that you need to know. Now, you may say, Ju, well, he went up there in front of the judge and he told the judge that, he witnessed gang activity. What does this have to do? It's just a movie. No. It's not just a movie. And this is why it's important. And I want to make this clear too. I'm not speaking about this in the vein of predictive programming. Because if that would mean that in some strange way, Gunna participated in his own lockup for 7 months. And that's just not the case. What we are witnessing is what they call the wave function collapse. So we think that, oh, it's just art. We think, oh, it's just fiction. This is why the verse in scripture that says we are fearfully and wonderfully made always rings a bell. Because when we don't know how we're made, it becomes very, very problematic. And in our brains, the brain has a difficult time differentiating the difference between what's real versus what's quote unquote fake or fiction. Now, let me tell you this. And I should have put some more case studies in here, but I didn't want to over convolute it with that. I just want to kind of talk to y'all raw. The brain, right? Even when it sees something that's quote unquote not real or fiction or fake, Do you know your brain processes that as real? I'm gonna repeat that. You know how you watch the scary movies and it's Halloween time and Frankenstein's head is spinning around doing a whole 360 all around, or the witch arm goes, clockwise all the way around, or whatever you watching that's like, okay, or they snap their arm out and snap it back in, or whatever the case may be. Do you know what happens in your brain when you see that? Your brain literally starts to put computations together to make that a reality for you. This is a neurological fact. I'm not making this up. So this is why when I hear people talking about, oh, what's reality, what's real, what's fake, they don't know. They really don't know what the hell they're talking about, especially when they're trying to give so much concrete validity to the objective world. But then when you get behind the programming, quantum physics tells us this too, that there's no such thing as objective reality, that multiple people can be having a different experience even though they're viewing the exact same thing. That's also been proven in MIT laboratories. So we have to have a new model of what reality is, or how it is ushered onto the screen of space that we call objective reality. So anyways, Gunna is in this movie. Guess what happens? A few months later, now he finds himself in a situation where what? He's being called the snitch because of what he told a judge or a prosecutor or whoever, and it's matching the same role that he played. Now, why is this important? These roles that we play, right? And I'm gonna tell you another case, big time, high profile case. Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez, back on April 7th of 2020, if I'm not mistaken. Tory Lanez got suspended from Instagram, right, for some over-the-top sexual imagery. And he went and made a video with himself in an orange jumpsuit, locked up, and throwing away the key, right? And then it was a hashtag that started trending on social media for Tory Lanez that said, "Free Tory Lanez," because people were looking at the imagery and they said, "Oh man, okay, even though it was quote unquote fiction or just art," right? And 2 months later, where did Tory Lanez find himself? Now he finds himself in the jam where he potentially gonna be behind them same fictional bars, not even 2 months later. Right? So what I'm trying to get people to understand is that we have to be very mindful of the imagery and the language that we're speaking. Because other people will look at this and say, "Oh, that's just a coincidence." But more and more people are starting to catch on, right, to the phenomenon and have a better grasp for what's happening. Now, you may say, "Okay, Ju, well, how come it don't happen to everybody who play in the movies? How come it don't happen to everybody who do?" Let me explain something to you about quantum physics and what they call the probability equation. Excuse me. Probability in mathematics deals with associations too, of what's more likely, predicated upon the associations that are running parallel. So let me tell you something. Because when they look in the wave, they can't necessarily pinpoint exactly where the electron is, because it's this cloudy wave. They can't really see exactly where the electron is at. Why? Because it's in multiple states at the same time. Yet they know that they can be able to pinpoint the most probable location according to the size of the wave. So what does that mean in layman's term? How does this apply to human beings, large objects? right? Because science doesn't want to quite necessarily go there yet, because then they would have to change the dynamic of how they talk about what reality is. But yet they have experiments that show that large objects as large as mirrors are being impacted by the quantum scale. So we now know that it's just not limited to what science wants to limit it to, called photons or electrons. But at the same time, we're made of these things. So how can we not be swayed and impacted by these laws when we're made of the very thing that's operating this way at a smaller scale? But anyways, so in this wave, this probability, right? It's like, okay, we can't say with 100% certainty where it's at, but we can give a really good educated guess and figure that it's probable to be right here in this particular location of the wave. Now, what does that mean? See, when you start to associate in quote unquote real life with things, right? Gunna's associating with thugs, right? All of these rappers making videos, mo what was his name, mo3 I think, and Triple Extension, and all of these guys making these PNB Rock, all of these guys making these images in these videos of their early demise, right? Laying out on cold stretcher tables in the morgue, and they think that that's street culture, and so they want to appeal to that culture. But guess what? Outside of that place where they're shooting that video, they're actually in that lifestyle too. So guess what happens now? These people are more probable, right, to experience what they think is just art, because in quote unquote their real life, they're entangled with that environment and that reality too. Right? So you got millions of people watching these movies, millions of people watching these videos, millions of people, all of these fans, these fanatics, right? They're tuned in, they're watching, they're observing, right? What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? The viewership is helping Gunna, helping Thug, helping whoever is projecting the image. And this is why the news is such a tool for programming, because it's really a fight for your mind. If I can get you to agree with this concept that I am projecting to you, you will be part and parcel of the creation that ushers itself into visible reality. If I can get you to agree, which is why I always call it quantum scriptures. And you got people still out here trying to argue, is the book literal history or not? Who cares? Right? That's not my aim. That's not my angle. We've helped more people using the book the way that we do than any of these guys out here talking if it's fiction or if it's not. Check my background. I ain't making this up. If they got a problem with it, holler at me. But anyways, we are part and parcel to the wave collapsing by our viewership. How does this happen, Minister Ju? You literally have something in your brain called the mirror neuron. Literally, I'm not making this up. This is not philosophy. This is not I'm not trying to take you on a deep dive on no spiritual path to try to get you to some place of enlightenment. It's none of that. I'm just talking straight facts. This is how you're made. So we're going to get past all, or we're going to demystify this thing and make it real simple and plain. So you got these neurons called mirror neurons in your brain, that do what? Our mirror neuron system automatically mirrors emotions and actions. And when we see somebody committing an act, right? Or we feel somebody emitting an emotion, and that's this is why this thing is so dope, because I don't even got to say nothing to you. See, people think that it's when people say I can pick up on your vibe, and you got some people who are so analytical, so logical, right? That they'll try to say, oh, that's a farce. No, it's actually reality, as they would like to call it. Literally, your mirror neurons pick up on the mood of other people without them even having to say a word. This is neuroscience, ladies and gentlemen. You can argue with me till you blue in the face, but this is the truth. And so once we start to pick up on this image that Gunna is putting out, that Tori is putting out, that this person is putting out, and we embrace it, you know what happens in our brain? Those mirror neurons start to run a simulation, and we begin to activate the God particle of our minds. And you think that they're trying to find the God particle at CERN. Let me tell you where it's at. It's inside your skull. It's inside your skull. So every time they do something and y'all get all bent out of shape, ooh, they cut the CERN machine on. Ooh. I'd be like, boy, but you cut the CERN machine on every day. Every time you wake up, you cut the CERN. And matter of fact, it's on even when you sleep. So we're co-creating with these people, right? Because the suggestion has been passed over to us. And now we literally start to simulate that reality in our mind. And if the simulation keeps running, what you know what that means? We keep feeding the machine called the quantum field. And all the quantum field's job is to do what, Noble? It is to compute. So what's that bar from Cameron? Everybody be ragging on them. Computers computing. Right? It's computing. And let me give it to y'all in this way for the people who read these texts. The quantum field is the equivalent to the name Yahweh. Right? So Yod Hey Val Hey is this name, which really is a computation, which is literally what the word of God translates to mean, which is logos. And if you go do the etymology on it, you'll see that it literally means a computation. That's mathematics. All my supreme mathematic people out there. Right? So it is computing, and this Yahweh is no respecter of persons, meaning whatever you give the computer to work with, the computer is going to spit out exactly what you gave it to work with, whether good, bad, or indifferent. So a lot of times these rappers, these people, these celebrities, they get on here and they talk about the law of attraction. They talk about manifestation. But the problem is they think that God and the devil are different. And really what it is, and I get it, we got to be able to name things to give it an identity, a purpose, a function. But really what's going on here is it's the same force that's operating on two different ends, but it's still computing the exact same way. The only difference is what information is being fed into the system. That's it. So you read so beautifully and eloquently in scripture a passage that says, I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal, right? You see where they keep giving you this, they keep juxtaposing these ideas about quote unquote God. But how can you kill and you make alive? How can you wound and you heal? They're trying to tell you in so many ways that it's the same force. And then they so beautifully add at the end of that passage, they tell you how to work the thing. They say, but choose life. So they let you know that it comes down to a decision, which determines what gets kicked out of the computer. So you're manifesting the great stuff and you're manifesting the bad stuff too. Where can you find more of this at? What is simulated in the Action Observation Network, where we observe actions? European Journal of Neuroscience, 2010. They go a source for all my culture source people. Right? So, and I kind of went over this already, but studies show that what? When we are exposed to emotions, blah, 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 we co-create. I already went through that. Now, let me say this. I spoke about this earlier on in my network, my private quantum imaging ministry membership. If you're interested in it, man, the link in the description box below. Going to join us, sign up today. We get it in every month, 4 times a month. It's really worth every single penny. But I said this earlier. See, the Yahweh, the Yod Hey Vav Hey, is no respecter of persons. But this is why they told you that Yahweh or God sent the Son, right, Noble?
Mm-hmm.
And they said, and so when you look at Yahweh and you look at Yeshua or Jesus in Greek, right? The only difference, the only letter that separates Yahweh from Yeshua is Shin. And Shin is what, Noble? The tooth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Shin is what, Noble? Fire.
Fire.
Right?
Yeah.
So now let's penetrate this and let's open this thing up so we can see what they were getting at. Because see, a lot of people are still hung up on the idea of these titles and these were persons. No, these are states of being. And within these states, these names exemplify how the state actually operates, right? So when you eat, right, what do your teeth do? What does your tooth do? Your tooth helps you do what? Break down the food, right? It helps you minimize whatever you have consumed so that it is able to be digested, right? Fire, right? They tell you right out of scripture, God is a consuming fire. That's right in scripture, right? But fire purifies, right? You can forge a knife in there, a sword in there, and you can get that thing pristine. So what were they trying to say? Who is Yahshua? What makes him different from Yahweh? See, we as the Son of Man, or little gods and little goddesses, lowercase g's, right? We have the ability to make better judgment. This is why scripture tells you he gave the Son of Man or Christ consciousness the ability to make judgment calls, right? We're supposed to be, if it's something that doesn't agree with us, or it's a situation that is out of bounds in our personal experience, we're supposed to be able to do what? Purify it and turn it into something else. It doesn't have to be the end all be all of the original computation, which says, look, man, whatever you give me, that's what I'm going to spit back out. We're supposed to be able to have discernment and break things down, right? Make things a little bit more finite, right? That may go against our Constitution, right? So all these guys and gals running around here having these particular things happen to them is because they don't know that they are Yeshua. And excuse me for some of y'all out there may feel I'm blaspheming. But the book of Galatians tell you flat out, all of these things are allegories that we have spoken about. Well, got to call a timeout. Got to call timeout right there. Timeout, Paul. What do you mean? Hold on. What? Right? And so We're co-creating. So Genesis 1:26 tells us, let us make man in our image. Who is the our? It's all of us, because Elohim means what? The many that make the one. So we helping Gunna on that wheel. We helping everybody who chooses to put a image out, or an idea, or a concept that takes root, that latches on, and it's even greater. It's a greater influence and impact from the people that we call stars. Why? Because you have stronger observational power. Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, it's always lights, camera, action. Always. Lights, atoms, photons, electron, lights. Yep, they're always present. It's always something doing some observation, camera, specifically your hippocampus, which is recording the situation. And it's always action, because something has to come from the lights and the recording. Something has to show up, tangible, physical, reality from that equation. And it's just that simple. It's just that simple. So Matthew 12:36-37 says, but I say unto you that, no, this is key, that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. For by thy words thou shalt be, listen to this carefully, for by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. You see how they keep giving you this balancing act? So by your words you can be justified, or by your own words you can be condemned. But no matter what, whatever you said, whatever you thought, whatever you felt, at some point you're going to have to give an account of that. And so what happened? What happened? What did Thug say 5-6 years ago? What did he say, Noble? Young Thug, if I ever go to jail for a long time, I want breast implants.
Why?
But let's read this. Hey, I'm on that Hugh Hefner shit, man. If I was to ever to go sit down for 20 to 25 years, the time they let you sit at home with your family, I'm bound to go get my motherfucking breast did. I'm bound to get my titties did so I can go do my 25 years with hoes and have me some fun, man. I don't get tired in my Kevin Gates voice. Now listen, man, let me tell you what happened, man. I was just with my wife last night at a graduation party, right? Wonderful friends of my wife's for over 20 plus years. I've been privileged to know these people for 15 plus years, and they have become like family. Tiffany, Takara, beautiful sisters, graduated with one with a master's, the other with a bachelor's this past weekend. We went out to celebrate them over on the west side of Chicago, a beautiful venue, wonderful time. But let me tell you what happened. They, all the ratchet music was going, the turn up music, go Glorilla on, the turn up, right? The turn up, right? So at the end of the venue, at the end of the night, the DJ decided, because mind you, these are regular church going people. No shade, it's just what it is. There's no, I don't have a problem with that. The church going folks, and so the DJ decides to play a gospel record in the midst of all of the turking on them headlights, right? And man, he got so much pushback from the people. Listen, as soon as he put the gospel record on, they immediately went to him and told him, "Now cut that off, bro."
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you what they said, and I respect the audience. They said, "Look, we play with a lot of things, But we don't play with the Lord. Right? And so why am I bringing that up? Why am I bringing that up? See, if these guys knew that the Lord or the word of God or the words that they speak was part of the computation of what God is, they wouldn't play like this. They would be more serious about the verbiage that comes out of their mouth. They think this is funny. But soon as thugs say this, or any one of these celebrities say this, it's immediately viral. Millions of people are laughing at this. Millions of people are now, you know what happens when he say this, Noble? You know, people start to picture Thug with boobs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Right? So this is what he said years back. But then this what happened in the Los Angeles Times. They just reported. It's a twist. Young Thug may have anticipated in his music. Feds came and snatched me. I don't know. No point in asking, he rapped on 2021's Take It to Trial. Now, this is the name of the record. He talking about the feds gonna come and get him. Now, at this time, the feds ain't came and got him just yet. But Take It to Trial, which prosecutors cited in the indictment. But now, it could mean a 20-year prison sentence. Oh boy, you don't say. So now look, now what happens? Now they want to go back and retract the language. Young Thug's legal team has filed a motion asking a Georgia court to prevent prosecutors from using the rapper's lyrics as evidence against him when his case goes to trial next year. What you think about that, Noble? Right? So here's the video. Take It to Trial, official music video. I just want y'all to pay attention to something.
That's the problem right there.
I want y'all to pay attention to something. The video is published December 17th, 2020. Him and Gunna in the video called Take It to Trial. In the same pocket of space, 2 years later, Thug and Gunna have been taken to trial. Today's what? December 18th?
Today the 18th, man.
So I want to tell y'all something about timing. See, it's a passage in Psalms that ties my conversation piece and Anpu's conversation piece together at the hip beautifully. It's the very first song. And it says, and I'm paraphrasing, meditate on these things day and night. And in due season, you shall be rewarded. So there's an aspect of consciousness first that says, think on this, vibe on this, weigh this in your mind, meditate on this, right? Do this for an extended period of time, right? And then something else has to happen. In a particular season, meaning at a particular time, that in which you were thinking about, meditating on, will appear. So now, 2 years later, these lyrics this title of the song, the same people involved are coincidentally all taking it to trial. Some of them have been released. And again, I'm not speaking, a lot of y'all are still hooked on the idea, did he, yeah, he snitched. That's not the point. It's like this. You got to get past looking at what's on the front of your computer screen now. You see myself, you see Anpu, you see a slideshow, you're convinced that this is it. But do you know behind the screen, there's a bunch of mathematics and digits moving and coding that's even allowing for you to be able to see me, to see Ampu, to see my screen, et cetera, et cetera. That's where we're doing the work at. We're living in the world of causes. And so many times, more often than not, people get fixated on the world of effects and think that's the cause. And so they go to the next physical, tangible thing and say, that's what did it. That's what did it. No, the cause of it is what we love to quote the ancients so much, right? Until the rubber has to meet the road. All is mental, brother. What? No, man. Man. You know how I go when I get on these joints, man. So, anyways, right? So 2 years later, this is what's happening. And I'm gonna wrap it up with this. What is John 3:27? It's a perfect segue and alley-oop to my brother Ampu. What does John 3:27 tell us? John replied, no one can receive anything unless God gives it from heaven. Read that again. No one can receive anything unless God gives it from heaven. Now, mind you, the kingdom of heaven is within you. That's in Luke. Huh? Right? So let me do this. Let me do this. All right, Noble. Can you see me, bro?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So talk to us about the heavens, man.
Man, what's that? Say that verse again about the
John 3 and
seasons.
27.
No, the other verse, the one about the seasons.
Oh man, that's the first chapter 1, first book of Psalms.
Mm-hmm.
It tells you to meditate on these things
Mm-hmm.
day and night.
Mm-hmm.
And in due season,
Mm-hmm.
these things will flower. These things will manifest.
Right. see. Here's the formula, y'all. The formula is the image plus planet that is moving plus the planet that is moving comes in conjunction with the planet where it was when you were born equals event. But let me be more clear. The image plus the corresponding planet that governs the image, okay, plus a planet where it was when you were born, when those align, the image, the corresponding planet, and then the planet where it was equals the event. Okay. That's what you really have to know. All right.
Noble, all of that is called in that verse the season.
Exactly. The season. All right. So let me see something real fast. Let me share this with y'all. All right. Can you see my screen?
I can, brother.
All right. So look, man, we're gonna look at some Saturn when you're dealing with Thug and you're dealing with Gunner. And the reason why we're gonna look at Saturn is because it's an energy that deals with justice, as you can see on the right hand side, in time. So trust me when I tell you this is a planet that really represents government. Okay. Justice in time equals jail, pretty much. Okay. The past and debts. Debts meaning, pay up. Okay. The past is because it's about some shit that you've done. So as you know, the state of Georgia, the feds ain't even got involved yet, in a sense, if they gonna come. But they're saying, hey, bro, we've been on your ass for about 10 years now. That's the past. You see what I'm saying? We've been on that ass for about 10 years now. Now it's time to pay the piper. Okay. So when you want to understand time in government, you need to understand the planet Saturn. Okay. Y'all with me? All right. So let's look at Thug's chart first. Okay. August 16th, 1991. The city of birth is irrelevant because the planet in the sky is where it is. The planet hundreds of millions of miles away don't give a damn what city you in. Okay. Far as its accuracy of where it's at in space. Okay. So immediately what happens is you will see that I see, and I'm going to show you how I see it, show you in real time. The planet Saturn is at the bottom here in Aquarius, and is directly opposite this Leo energy, which Thug is. Let me turn that black for you so you can just kind of see it in real time here. Okay. And let me put some bigger weight on that so you can see it. Bam. Okay. So let me move the chart up. There goes Saturn right there in green. What did I tell you? The planet of time and government at the base in the sky right now is in opposition to this sun, which represents, if Thug say, hey man, I'm a Leo, it's because he's born on this particular day. The sun appears to be on the 23rd degree of Leo, simply mean he was born on the 23rd day of the Leo season. Now watch this. Look at I got this on May 11th, right? In green. May 11th is the day that he was arrested. So watch the precise mathematics. Where is Saturn at in green on May 11th? 24 degrees. As you can see, it says Saturn down here, but go to green. It's at 24 degrees Aquarius, right? So if we go back and look at his sun, where's his sun? His sun is right here, 23 degrees Aquarius. So let me kind of show you what that looks like in real time on Earth so you can kind of get a better idea. Okay. So if Thugger is born 8/16/91, okay, let's look in the East. Bam. We said he's a Leo, right? He's a Leo. Sun look like it's in Leo. Well, opposite Leo on the West, we should see Aquarius. Oh, that tree is in the way. Let's move it. Oops, let's move that tree. There he goes. Look at him. Aquarius right there on the West. That's what opposition looks like. So in your reality, okay, on Earth, the constellation on the opposite side of the direction, that represents opposition. Okay. Now, the only thing we got to do is what are we going up to? May is actually May 9th, right? May 9th, 2022. Uh-oh. This is the rest date for Thugger. And actually, I bet you Saturn's at 23 degrees because I got the date May 11th. That was 2 days later. That was Gunna's date. All right, where's Saturn at now? We know Aquarius is the opposition point. And bingo, there it is right there. You see it. I ain't making it up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So once the planet gets into the oppositional mark, so you got 4 zones. You got 4 zones in this thing. the halfway mark known as your squares, and then the one that's opposite you, and then when it's up on you in the same spot, in this case Leo. Okay, so you got 4 zones, and this is the opposition zone, which is really a perfect alignment depending on how you see this. Okay, this is really a straight line of space that's taking place. All right. So anyway, when that opposition happens, opposition usually represents conflict, ladies and gentlemen. It ain't hard. It's just conflicts. Conflict with what? Well, conflict with the authoritative principle. Let's go back and read the keyword of Saturn here. So you read that top paragraph. So you see, I ain't making it up. The planet Saturn is associated with discipline and foundation. And where Saturn is found in the birth chart shows how and where a person will set limits and look for security. Saturn rules Capricorn and the 10th house of reputation. Saturn's energy is conservative and self-control, as well as authoritarian. That's the law. And sometimes punishing. That's a government. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So that's what that energy represents. So when it gets into a conflicting portion of the sky, here it comes. You can pretty much kind of expect that. But that's really based upon what? Your actions of the past. That's what you have to understand. So it's really the thoughts that begets the action that creates the karma. The thoughts that begets the action that creates the karma, because Saturn also rules karma. Okay, so without no action, there's no karma. Without no action, well, without no thought, there's no action. Okay, so it starts on the mental plane, because all of these things we've been telling you for years, all the planets represent is different frequencies of thought. That's it. Okay. All right, so let's look at Gunna for a second. So when you look at his chart, Gemini, 23 degrees Jimmy, right? I noticed, whoa, Saturn at the bottom in green is very close to where it was when it was born. So what that tell me? It tells me that he's having a Saturn return, right?
Mm-hmm.
Saturn in the sky is in the same place where it was when he was born, right? So again, if we were to take this arrow here so you can see it for yourself. All we saying is, hey, this planet in green in the sky, ladies and gents, is right here in the same vicinity, right? So if you want to see it in real life, right? What is it? It'll look like this. So he born 6/14/93, right? Six 1493. Where's Saturn? Dead in the body of Aquarius, right? It's in the body. Well, he turned himself in on 5/11/2022. Where's Saturn? Hello. Approaching the body. So he's experiencing what is called a Saturn return, aka when the planets align, right? So he's just going through his Saturn return, and thus he'd be a part of it. Now, here's the kicker we're gonna do. Look at these specs, right? This shit made me laugh like a motherfucker. This is look at his T-square. Dude got Neptune opposite Mercury square moon.
Ooh. Ooh.
I was dying laughing when I seen this. Yo,
That ain't funny, bro.
hey, that ain't hey, it's if that one there. See, here's the kicker, ladies and gents. Neptune represents music. Mercury represents the mind. Neptune could represent some spiritual, psychic stuff. The moon is intuition as well. So this person could be a poet, musically inclined, for sure. Maybe a bomb ass psychic too, for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? But then and this could be a person that's into drugs. And on the extreme worst side, it may be hard to trust this person in a sense because they just may tell stories. Okay. Because if we look at some keywords for Neptune, you'll see deception. Okay, that's one of them. Deception. Okay. And so could you really trust Gunna in a sense? With a spec like this? I don't know. I don't even know when I look at the other red square. Look at the other red square. What I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, was let me take it off that so I can kind of play with this. This is a T square from here, this red going up to here, and then coming over here. This red triangle right here is known as a cardinal T square. Okay. Simply meaning we're saying, hey, Capricorn's at the bottom, Cancer's here, Aries here. Aries starts the spring, Capricorn starts the winter, Cancer starts the summer, cardinal sign starts season. This is called a cardinal T square. Okay, this is friction. Okay, but then he has another one, right? Energy up here in Leo. Pluto squares Mars
and Saturn.
And Saturn right here, who's flirting with the Aquarian energy, but made it over here in Pisces at 0 degrees. So he almost has what's called a fixed T square. But look at that. If Saturn is government, and it is, and Pluto is secrets, and it is, that's some type of secret with the government. Potentially.
It's called
right?
Indictment.
Yeah. Secret with the government.
Watching.
And then Mars is how you fight.
And that's Mars is also gangs.
Gangs, blood, you know what I mean? So this is secret government stuff. You know what I mean? So the government can come at you, or you could possibly be colluding with the government. You got Neptune opposite Mercury. That there is dangerous, man. I don't know if I can trust a motherfucker that got that. If you're not exhibiting the other high qualities, and sometimes it's a mixture. You know what I'm saying? You got both. You know. So that's a very interesting thing to see, man. So let me just show y'all the final thing real fast. DJ Twitch, man, committed suicide, and again, he shot himself to his death. And immediately when I see that, that's going to show me that, hey, man, this is Mars involved. You see armed services, you see war, you see bloodshed, you see iron and steel. Those are two keywords that we use that we call guns. Okay, got the iron, got that steel. And again, armed services makes it plain that guns deals with this particular planetary frequency. Okay, so that's that. And then Neptune deals with suicide. Some keywords would be deception or disappearance, right? Neptune is drowning, is confusion, is dreams, is coma, okay? So it deals with a lot of escapism in a sense, all right? And it also deals with drugs, big time, okay? And so Neptune is a suicidal energy, okay? So since he committed suicide by gunshots, then we should be able to see Mars and Neptune. Okay, so let's give it a test. All right. Okay. Now, and he did this on December 13th, okay, of this year. So immediately I see something, right? Can I paste that arrow again? We still got it. There we go. All right. What do I see? I'm looking for Mars in the sky the day of the event, which is in green. Oh, it's in Gemini. Okay, let's go down here a little bit. Where's Mars at in Gemini? 14 degrees Gemini. Whoa. He was born with Mars in Sagittarius at 6 degrees. Wait a minute. I know that Sagittarius and Gemini are opposite one another. That's the opposition again. See, Thugger had it on Saturn that dealt with government. Homeboy's having it with the planet that deals with gunshots. Okay? That's real. And that's opposition. So Mars opposite Mars. And so then we see where Neptune is when he was born, 24 degrees Sagittarius. Where's the sun on the day of the event? Okay, right there. So if we go down, sun is 20 degrees Sagittarius. Okay, so let's look at that in real time, real fast. All right, and we just look at the conjunction, because the conjunctions are so beautiful to me in this science, right? Because it's just a dead on alignment. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to go to 12, I'm sorry, 9/29, what's that, 1982. All right, 1982, and we want to go to what, 9/29. Uh-oh. 9/29, 1982. And what we want to do is we want to go find the planet Neptune. We're going to put Neptune in the east. And it looked like he appears right in between Scorpio and Sagittarius at the leg of Ophiuchus. Very, very, very far back in the ethers. There it is right there. Beautiful planet. Absolutely my favorite planet in the cosmos. Deals with imagination, deals with consciousness. It's the highest plateau of consciousness that you can get to. I like to call it transcendental consciousness. So it's right there, okay, at the leg of the Scorpion at this time. Now, let's speed it up to 2022, and we're going to go to December 13th, the day of the event. And where's the sun at? Wow. The sun is in this same region of space. You see? So the sun brings light to the situation. So now the planet that deals with life force, without the sun, you die. Not only does it bring light, but a key word for the sun is life force energy. Okay? So if you put that in combination with the planet of suicide, in combination with Mars opposite Mars, you're going to have a potential problem on your hand, which will mean what? Suicide. Okay. So let me see something real fast. Just to show you that the sun does represent life force energy, right? Is it in here somewhere? Life. Right here on the life, on the left-hand side. Life. Okay? We ain't got to make this stuff up for y'all, man. Tell y'all no stories.
Vitality.
That's how that go. Vitality. And I always show y'all, which I didn't put in here. I'm putting here right now. Where my square chart at? And maybe I got two of them. Which one is it? Oh, this is cool. Right? So remember, I told you, you got 4 sniper points. These are the 4 sniper points, but you have to know where your energy is at. This is very important. Me and Ju would tell you every single time, if it's one planet we keep an eye on, is Mars. I've been said it on the podcast Cosmic Conversations. What did I say? Mars is going to retrograde in Gemini and ain't coming out of Gemini until like freaking March of 2023. Okay, so it's going to be there for a long time. So what did I say? Gemini in yellow on my screen. You in the cold red. Virgo, cold red. Sagittarius, cold red, because that's opposition. Pisces, cold red, because that's a square. You see? So now if you got Mars in these positions, or your sun, that's your zodiac sign, in these positions, hey, you better watch it. If you got Mercury in these signs that represents travel, you better watch it. And I dare say the planet Uranus, because Uranus represents accidents as well, you better watch it.
Now, it's funny you mentioned Uranus. When I was looking at DJ Twitch chart, not only is he going through a Mars opposite Mars, he's going through a Mars opposite Mars Uranus conjunction.
Yes, right here is what he's talking about, lady. With
in his natal chart. Now,
right
if you go back and listen to the commentary from the people who were familiar with the gentleman, what is some of the keywords they're using? It was just very strange. He just
Mm-hmm.
started to act very peculiar and weird.
Mm-hmm.
Those are keywords for Uranus. And
Mm-hmm.
Uranus also is the energy of sudden changes.
Yes.
So they said, what did they say? 2 days before, 3 days before, he was smiling, he was happy, he was this, he was that. And it's no way that he commit suicide. Did you see how jovial he was?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mars come on up in that mix, opposite that energy, and all it take is that fast.
That's it. That's the great agitator. And Neptune square Neptune right now. You know, that's the great Mars is the great agitating force that's gonna set it off. I guaranteed it's coming for you, man.
He
So hold on, where my
he get
screen share
he's like the pilot on your stove.
at? Yeah. No, for real. Always lit. You know what I'm saying?
Always
That you just gotta
lit.
turn the knob. It's on. It's
It's
on.
on. It's on.
Seriously, man. For real, man. So man, I like to man, if you ain't ever seen this stuff, man, like I run personal reports for people. You know what I mean? I've showed it before. But you just got to get with me. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't got it on the website. You just got to get with me. And you can email me and inquire if you want to, which is my name, Noble Anpu on the screen at Gmail. Which you see the name on the screen at Gmail, you can get at me. We can make it happen. It's cosmic. Listen, cosmic life insurance, and it ain't gonna be no more than $1 a day for a year. You know what I'm saying? Like $1 for that's literally what it is. Cosmic life insurance. And it's not just with that dude. I love to let you know when that dude is in a certain situation so you can be straight, but how to balance relationships with it and have fun with it. You know what I'm saying? Knowing you in the pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like, because man, listen, it's nothing better than being in the pocket. You know what I mean? We can show you some lottery testimonials when people got in that zone, and we like, listen, do this money technique, play lottery all month. This is a good month for you, and they lock in and they make it happen and they win something. Even to like I'm going through one of my better transits. It takes 12 years to do it. What Jupiter is in the sky right now is very close to what my Venus was when I was born. So now, 12 years ago, it takes a 12-year cycle, right? 12 years ago, it was just kicking the science and stuff, right? Starting off on a journey. But 12 years later, now you then put real estate in the mix. And then now my portfolio has appreciated because real estate is up. And now I'm able to, let me do some cash out refis. And then they cutting me these big ass checks, you know what I'm saying, to refinance my property so I can buy some more. And so now when you know the planetary projection in the future, then that tells you the likelihood of the time of the event. So now what are you doing within this time to equal the manifestation? Like this stuff ain't hard, man. It's
It's
like
not.
really that simple. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it gets jiggy. That's where it gets fun at. So to be able to tell you that every single month, the last day of the month, I send you this report for the next upcoming month so you can know and do your thing. It's up to you to fill your life up with activity. Even if you're going through like bro, like Mars square Venus. You know what I'm saying? That's potential rift inside of a relationship. So what do you do? Hey, bro, this would be once you go on a spontaneous date, do something different to show appreciation. So you can have that positive current. And so then when the event comes, it takes away some of the sting. It's mathematics, right? A positive and a negative neutralizes each other out. But if you ain't gonna do nothing and this negative come, then the negative is on the board and the positive is not on the board now. Now you working backwards. You got to do something positive called time pass. Hey, you ain't arguing no more. Hey, babe, you want to do something? You do something, and then it goes this way. You see what I'm saying? You got to do this first and stay in a constant zone of doing this side. So then when those little debits come, you got more credits than debits in your cosmic ledger. You see what I'm saying? And that's just what it is, man. It ain't hard.
Hey man, that's what it is. We went through some very delicate information in an hour and 14 minutes. I think we've mastered this, Noble.
Yeah, man. It's fun. And by the way, somebody said they can't understand thugs. I seen a kid with Down syndrome rapping thug. Only the beginning, right? With that Rich Gang, right? I love like Thug sound is. I'm a Thug fan. I just gotta say it. You know what I'm saying? The music, Thug fan, like. And I ain't gonna lie. And I was on the record. I like the idea of what Jeffrey did by taking a thug image and putting a dress on it, because the rebel Aquarian side of me says that black men as men, we soft and we need to stop playing so tough when we don't never go fix the issues with the establishment that we say is doing us wrong. And so ain't nobody a thug then. You know what I'm saying? So to water that down, I'm crazy enough to like that and see the irony into that. Like, yeah, shut your ass up, nigga. Y'all ain't thugs. Y'all ain't about this work for real, for real. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, but I like Thug's music. It's a different sound. It's unique. And it's a lot of whining that he's made into a jingle. You know what I'm saying? Every day, that lifestyle was crazy. Only the beginning.
So that's the only part that I know,
I know, man.
and that's not a diss. I just no, we know how I already don't.
Yeah. Jew with the Jay-Z's and the Nas era and whatnot, man.
But
But
you did turn me on to Migos.
yeah. Mike P, what up? yeah. Are you right? I did see something with Gunna. I think Gunna had a damn astrology app. Come think of
No,
it.
he had the album cover. Remember?
Yeah, man. Let me go look at that shit. What was that? I forgot all about that shit.
Mm-hmm.
What was that on, Jew?
It was like a pink and purple looking. Um,
Yeah, I'm looking at it right here. What was it? Wonderscopes?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, bro. I forgot all about that shit. He was into that shit. I sure was. Yeah. I mean, y'all. If you man, listen, let me share my screen. Y'all wouldn't believe this shit. Let me grab this right here. I think this is it. Let me superimpose it on a. Let's see. Uh, Hold on, y'all. Share screen. Bam. All right. Look at this. Stop playing. Yo, let me see. Is it? I wonder if it's this actual chart, Jew, because they go Saturn at 0 degrees
Where?
at the top. If you can you see that? It's at the
I
top.
can.
Yeah, you see that? It's at the very
I
top,
wonder
bro. So and that put Venus at
where's
7.
Jimmy at on here? I see
So
like Mercury and Jimmy.
yeah, right there. So his ascendant. Boy, I wish I can zoom
No,
in
but see,
on
he a
it.
G Jimmy, and the
Yeah, I
sun
know.
ain't over there, so that ain't his
Yeah,
chart.
the sun he got. Let me see. It's
What
right.
that's Taurus? Is he
Nah,
using
yeah,
Ceridial?
nah. It could be. No, it would have been 23 degrees, and Saturn
Is
wouldn't have
it?
been at 0 for
Oh, okay,
sure.
right. Let me
Right.
see.
He got moon at 17. Is that boy? Okay, my odds going bad in the month. Let me
He had
see
the
something.
moon in Aries.
Moon in Aries.
Yeah,
Hold on.
that's
Let's
the
look
that's
at
the
Gunna.
comedian chart. I mean,
There it
he's.
is right here. Yep, moon in Aries. You know what I'm saying? So he's
Mhm.
probably giving
Let me
his
see.
rising sign. Maybe it may be Gemini. I can see the sun say 20 something, and maybe just because it's the artwork, it's you know what I'm
It's
saying?
giving off the
Yeah, it
vibe.
looked
Yeah.
like it's over there in front of Taurus, but that's just artwork. Yeah, so he may be Jimmy or Taurus Roz or something, Jimmy Roz or something.
No, but you might be right because when you go back, if you go back with it like with a moon glyph, that look like it might be up in that Aries region.
Mm-hmm. Right there, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So yeah, man, boy, oh boy, man. Yeah. And see, this is a beautiful artwork though, because man, this thing is your cross, man. You know what I'm saying? It's your cross. but you'll cross in a good way because you it's all based upon the decisions that we make. Every single planet has positive attributes and negative attributes. That's just the name of the game of the yin yang duality in this place. You know what I'm saying? So you bear your cross. You know what I'm saying? You plant the positive seeds, you get the positive manifestations that come out of those particular energies. And the same goes the other side. And then my last thing to say is when Ju mentioned something about talked about observing and observation. I hope y'all really caught that because here's the kicker. The vision board that you believe in that becomes reality is not solely becoming a reality because you want it. That's what I think people like ain't really catching it. Like the observation period is part of the formula. Your desire for it is amplification of it. But just because you don't want some shit and you see it, don't mean that you're not helping create it to come in reality. If vision itself, observation itself, is paramount of creation. You understand what I'm saying? And so everything that you look at, you're lending your observational support of it. It just is what it is. It never said that the law don't work because you don't want it. No, actually, quite the contrary.
It's automatic.
Yeah, the thing that you the what's the scripture, Drew? The thing that you fear most is now upon you.
That's in Job.
Yeah, the
thing
that
the
you
thing that I
fear.
feared the most has come upon me.
Yeah. So there's fear, some shit you don't want. So now why is that on you? You see what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Yeah, because that certain kind of emotion has a strong charge in your mind, in your body, which goes out into the field, which can draw it to you faster. Okay? It then being in certain locations on the earth helps magnetize things as well.
Uh-oh.
Okay? Whole nother science. All right. So anyway, man, just wanted to share that with y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Get at us, man. For real.
Sign up for the memberships, man. Join Ampu's astrological report. It's well worth every penny. I always forget Noble to put the testimonials when we do these videos.
Man, bro.
But I got to do better at that. But listen, this is what we do. This is what we do. And shout out to all the people out there that have come through these doors and have had the experience to know it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you're interested, visit the website. The link is in the description box below. Quantum Imaging membership. Oh, yeah, we probably got over 20 different techniques. We have calls 4 times a month. Everything's recorded. If you miss it live, it goes out within 24 to 48 hours later. You know, we got how many shows? How many recordings? Like I got over probably like 500 recordings.
Bro, it's deep.
So
seriously, it's deep. Like what? 2016,
2015,
15.
Yeah,
you can go back into the archive and just send stuff out.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
You know, one day I'm gonna release some of that stuff public and let y'all see how we get down in these private calls. It'd be amazing. I was going so hard today. I called up one of the members was like, Ju, you need to go hit the studio, man. You spitting bars.
Studio, man. Hit the stew.
You know, appreciate that, Ricky Skills, Mike P. See you out there. But yeah, man, Noble, that's it, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. It's getting late.
Yeah.
I know people probably got do things in the morning. And but again, man, we appreciate y'all. Gratitude is our attitude. And we thank you for the support, man. We catch y'all on the next presentation.
Yeah. Peace, y'all.